Hello everyone, and today I wanted to do a video review for the Mortal Kombat 2 arcade by Arcade1Up. So in this video, I'm actually going to walk you through the arcade itself. I'll boot up the machine, we'll do a little demo, and then I'll just give you my overall thoughts on this particular cabinet. So I actually have both a custom arcade that I had fully built from scratch, and then I have several of these Arcade1Up machines, particularly the Star Wars and Terminator machines. I wanted to go out and get this one because this is really a classic game from the 90s. Mortal Kombat games have always really been one of my favorites. Growing up in the 90s, being a kid that got to actually see the originals in the arcade. This is basically a really cool, smaller replica version of what you would have expected if you maybe had a chance to play some of these games back in the 90s. Originally, Mortal Kombat 2 came out in 1993, and that was probably the most successful of Mortal Kombat 1, Mortal Kombat 2, and 3. So this particular machine features all three of these. You can actually see on the front kick plate, it basically just has these nice final stickers for all three games, and then you have the rest of the machine themed around Mortal Kombat 2. So I'm going to go ahead and boot this up. Basically, you just flip the power button here. This will go through and do an intro screen. Usually doesn't take too long to load up. And then with the controls, you have your two joysticks here on the left and right. You have both start buttons for each player. And then ultimately everything is labeled. So you have your run button, which is specific to some of the Mortal Kombats: high punch, low punch. You got your block in the middle, high kick, and low kick. And then obviously everything's the same for player 2. This is a nice acrylic cover, so if anything were to get on here, like dust or debris, you can easily wipe this down. You have a speaker here on the right, and then there's a nice acrylic that covers the screen and everything else. Now, getting into the menu here, you can see it booted up pretty quickly. I can just choose between any of the three games. So we'll go ahead and choose Mortal Kombat 2. It says press A, which basically is like any of these buttons. A high punch usually works. It gives you an overview of all the controls and everything to expect here. Now, you can also hold down the player start button here. This will basically return you to the menu, or if you hold down player 2, start, and for 5 seconds it'll reset that specific game. So sometimes you might be in a scenario where, I just want to reset. Maybe I'm in the middle of a round. Someone wants to join you, whatever. You can easily do that. So I'm going to hit start to continue, and this is gonna boot up the game essentially. This is an emulated version of the original arcade one that you would have played again in the 90s. The sound on this is actually pretty good. You have 3 volume levels, so you can go to the middle, which you know is okay. And then if you go to the low, this basically completely turns it off. So if I go all the way back up, this is my preferred. There's not like a ton of bass or anything like that. There's no subwoofer in this, but ultimately, sound is pretty good. I was going to go ahead and hit start. Jumps in the menu. You can pick one of your characters, and at any time if I want, I can also hit player 2 start, and now player 2 will enter, and they basically are now an opponent. So we'll just go into a match, and I'm not going to really do too much crazy combat here or anything, but I just wanted to give an example. All the buttons work great. There's no like lag or delay or anything like that. The run button in Mortal Kombat 2 acts as a block, whereas in some of the other ones, I believe 3, it may not. Now, again, if I decide to hold down, I believe start 1, this is going to completely reset the machine and bring us back into the main menu without completely booting it down and back up. Now, of course, you also have original Mortal Kombat, and then you have Ultimate Mortal Kombat. What you may find is that this particular cabinet was actually the very original one that Arcade1Up released. There are some other variations of this cabinet. You can get what's called the Legacy version, and that has 12 games built into it. They were all by Midway, so you get all 3 of these Mortal Kombats, and then you additionally get several other games. There were some advantages to that particular cabinet, where they added in this lighted marquee up at the top I believe made some other minor improvements. The front kick plate looks a little different because of the fact that it doesn't have just those 3 games, and some of those variations may or may not include this riser piece. So I actually had to buy this separately. This is an Arcade 1-Up branded riser, so it fits with all Arcade 1-Up machines. And normally if you have this setup, it's not really going to be a high enough point that you're going to be able to stand up and play. This pretty much now with the riser is literally at my waist, and I'm about 5'10", so this is like perfect. Unless you have something else you want to put it on, you're most likely going to find yourself in a position where you really do want that riser. The other cool thing you can do with these cabinets is if you're someone that's technical, you can actually do some modifications. People sell different acrylic pieces that you can put around the edges here. Like I've seen one where they have all the move lists. Someone else makes something where you could even get like a cardboard cutout of all the move lists of all the characters. You can get different vinyl decals that will cover this, or even the bottom riser. There's different variations of that, and then you can even get some higher end mods, such as even replacing joysticks, having these light up with LEDs. You could get a whole new control panel. You could install what's called a Raspberry Pi 4, which essentially would allow you to emulate a wide range of games, going pretty much with every arcade game you could possibly imagine. But you will obviously be investing a little bit to do some of these, but it's very possible to do with these cabinets. Overall, the footprint of these is very small. It really does get the job done quite well, and I'm really excited to be able to use it. We're actually going to be hosting a Mortal Kombat tournament here at my house, and one of the reasons I got this cabinet was so that I could have this featured for that tournament. And Ultimate Mortal Kombat 3 features a tournament mode, so I'm really excited to be able to do that here upcoming for that event. So overall, very happy with this cabinet. I would say if you're going to be buying one, and definitely look into the brand new deluxe edition that they recently released. That one basically has more games in this, has the light up marquee, and just some overall quality of life improvements that they've made with these particular cabinets. Anyway, thanks for watching, and I hope you found this helpful.